Hi all, today you look at the retelling of a very interesting film, where the Master Kung Fu and the boxing champion decided to find out which of them is stronger. And we're starting. Let's go!
Audio Jungle.
Yip Man with his family settles in Hong Kong. Once a young one comes to him, a man named Lee Xiaolun, and asks to become his teacher, saying that he will be his best student, because he is very quickly. The master sits in a chair and calls a cigarette. Lee tries to knock out she but tolerates the defeat. Yip Man blows cigarette into the air and guy fights them at first. Yip Man does not accept but not persons it and silently opens it before the guy is the Jew. In primary school, there is a fight between the two boys, but the teacher will separate the hooligans and calls parents. She is outraged guys who will not decide which of them is better. He owns the kung fu. Family Yip Man invites his son Fan's classmate on his dinner to make amends. After Chun Fun food is suitable, the simulator shows some tricks. To question Yip Man, he tells him that he is his father trained, and at the moment someone knocks on the door. This father came for his son. He wants to know what happened and calls the boy, and they apologize to each other. Now they are friends, and men are also shook hands. Chun Tinchi promises his son that he will also become famous as a master of Yip Man. At night, a man participates in underground battles. He needs money, and while they fight, organizer of the fighter, Mark Kingston Local, the leader of the triad, goes to meet the boss. Frank is interested of fulfilling his tasks as questions of a local building schools. Ma promises to do in a month, but Frank gives only 2 weeks. Frank is interested in the style. Ma calls him Wing Chun and rolls pink very cool style. Master Ting leads to a cafe young reporter. Each belongs different schools of Kung Fu, here table of champions. And here is their teacher Yip Man. Journalist writes an article about combat arts and asks for permission to photograph the masters and their students. Yip Man is invited to sit in the center, but they call to the phone. The wife recalls that it was today that they had to go to dance lessons, but since he was late, he will take his son from school. In front of the Yip building meets Chuna, and he gives him medicine from Bryces and finds out the boss adherents of the same style and even studied. One teacher has really a different style. Yip recalls that everyone is strong and the weaknesses are no exception. Chun offers a friendly fight. The lessons are over to school come to Ma in accommodating their fighters. He requires from director to sell the building, and when a man refuses to begin to force it, but Yip Man stands for defense. Grabbing him, he calls the police. Police detective and Yip friend agrees to help, but having arrived in the morning, walks and pupils find the doors closed with boards, and children are excited. Really, school will demolish the students of Yip, disable the rubble, and open a door. Yip Man permits organize the security of the school. Late in the evening, the Yip team is already going to leave home quietly at Campley, and here a crown with a fight is tied with sticks. Some person breaks inside and sets fire class, passing by the chunk in the hurry to help. Men successfully beat off the attack bandits. The director announces that the fire is extinguished, but the school was badly damaged. He underestimated him and thanks Chun for help. The next day is Chun with his son inspect the room. He intends to open his school kung fu. The wife feels frequent abdominal pains but prefers to be treated by yourself. Master Tin causes the day when he took Ma as a student because he uses kung fu is evil and he will disgrade his school. Tin rushes to the former student and catch up with Old Man. Sanya meets the head of the grandmaster and begins to fork former teacher. He is not going to be such as he is not honest poor with a contingency. Let him be a fat frank, but with money. He grabs the knife, but Yip stops his. He ran away of the cyan signal, improvised, but the emerging policeman was damned with despair under the threat of weapons. The bandits retreat. The fat man explains that Frank bought the police chief and he can't do anything. Yip's wife goes to a doctor and finds out that forecasts unsightable. But for sure everything will be known after the examination. A frustrated woman goes to school and sees how women vying to share her husband's lunch. Mission after the battle approaches Chuna and offers his money. He needs a good fighter to deal with someone. Chun refuses that Mission advises look for another place, a fight, and man agrees. The next day Chun goes to workshop Tina. Old Man renders violent resistance, but the forces are not equal. Yip's wife is outraged. How much more will it be continue? He is constantly in school expansion, interrupts the calls from hospital, reports that Master Ting severely beaten. It turns out the nurse Ma asked about it immediately after the call. His team goes to the school. Bandits grab a few students and push it into the car. Xian demands the director, otherwise his student will be sold, and comes to Tin and he says that he never asked to call him. He is a hurry. Mission meets him with reducal. Son of Yip starts calling his father. Ma understands who he is captured and demands for Yip that he got on his knees and bowed his head. This time threatens his son with a knife. The man does everything, following Yip. Chan comes, he also wants to take his son. Son gives his son away. Ma proposes to Yip stand against 11 of his fighters. The battle Chan's son asks his father for help to free his friends. Man returns and engages in the combat with Ma, but that runs away hiding behind his son, and Yip Queen bites Ma. The father continues the fight and finally stays here police. The reporter takes a photo of the Yip Man. Next to son, they return home, where asleep to wife that happened, and asks for the forgiveness. A woman talks about lines, go to the doctor, where the diagnosis is confirmed, and there is not hope to recovery. Frank the boss is furious with everything that happened. The police advise him not to light up the for now, lay down on the bottom. Mafiosi considers in the paper photograph of Ipa. Is his now personal enemy in a rage. He beats Ma and kicks him out and sends a fighter to kill Ipa. Yip and his wife are in the elevator when the killer enters and understands who it is, but does not give a look when he rushes into attack. He protects the woman and himself and in difficult battle defeats the enemy. Yip Man goes to Frank. He sees he trains and understands before him in strong enemy. That surprised he heard about the style Wing Chun and offers to check who's first faster. If the Yip lasts 3 minutes, he will leave him alone. Frank sets the alarm and the fight begins. Ipu it is not easy, but also his opponent misses a few sensitive blows. The battle goes on with various success, and then the alarm clock rings. 3 minutes have passed. Yip leaves. Chon contributes rent money, promises he is ready to open the school. Hostess shown him Yip Man's photo. In Chan's newspaper goes to the reporter. He wants to know about him also wrote. He saw Yip Man's style and considers it unreal. There before ready challenge Yip Man to a duel. Chun calls to a duel of one of the fighter of the school when Chun starts the fight. Reporter doing newspaper pictures that come out with headlines about Chun new face in Kung Fu. His fame grows from every day, and one day he announces that Yip Man can represent the school Wing Chun and challenge him to a duel. Chun rips off the veil with a thing on which he is declared a great master. About it, Yip Man reads the newspaper but does not respond to it, because he is always there doing wife and cheering her and walks with escorts her to the hospital, in the cinema, and trying to support. It comes to that Chun arbitrarily sits down at the table Yip Man. Yip comes to school dancing and meets Li Xiao long tree. He, of course, cannot know what is in the future famous actor and fighter Bruce Lee. Boy offers to exchange skills. He will teach master dance and that his fight, but that agrees. The explains refused that him he just discovered Drew. And Lee left of his own free will. Coming the day of the battle in the hall on Chun, the master gathers a student and many spectators. Everyone is watching for Yip Man, and he is dancing with his wife at this time. The appointed hour is coming, but the master didn't show up. Judge declares the winner a true representative of Wing Chun. The audience is divided by someone outraged, someone is cheering. Chun is giving a speech in which says that apparently Yip Man was afraid of him and now he will lead the school through Wing Chun to prosperity. Yip Man's wife passes out and her condition worsens. Now Yip constantly is next to her in the hospital. One day the woman gives her sons a letter. She asks her husband to take a picture with her, and he takes her to take atelier where they make pictures, and then she thanks him for that, devoted all his time to her, and admits that she asked Chun for a new one duel and set a date. She wants to look at his workout. Appointed Da Vinci accompanies Yip Man to battle. Two masters meet 1-to-1 for the first duel happens on poles, followed by swords battlefields. Both masters show miracles, possessions of weapons and body. For this, their sons are watching closely. Sword discredited, the fight begins, naked hands eventually it defeats Chun and leaves the hall, but hears a roar behind, and turning around sees that Chun destroyed Singboa. He admits his defeat, but says that the most important thing is the love of lovers once. He remains by his side until the last minute, his wife who passes away. Yip Man was named the Great Masters. He trained his son in combat, the arts that became the meaning of its life from generation to generation. Wing Chun spread throughout the world. Combat art for Yip Man is the art of living. The centrally loves his family, but so many do not find time to say a torture. I advise everyone to see this movie, and all for now. Thank you all for watching, subscribe to the channel, and bye bye.